The project is called MIXOSCOPE, Remix Old Photos from the Danish colony in the West Indies.
To mark the centenary of the sale of the Danish West Indians, the Royal Danish Library has digitized a lot of materials from its collection related to the former Danish colonies.
Newspapers, books, maps, images are now available online in our library catalogs and through APIs. Some are curated in an online exhibition, others are displayed in our physical exhibition, and today we'll pay close attention to those available for remixing in an app. In relation to impacts of our digitization, we would argue that access in itself is impact. Digitization is the answer to the democratic problem that while our cultural heritage belongs to us all, very few have access to it. And this is all the more relevant when the materials not only belong to the Danes, but belong to and are relevant for people all over the world. We will also argue that engagement is an impact of digitization and that new forms of engagement are made possible. And we wanted to engage a dialogue on Denmark's past as a colonial power. And with topics like slavery and colonialism, the material is bound to be sensitive. Collections will represent stereotypes and a slanted worldview with an unjust distribution of power and privilege. And when digitizing the material, you automatically affirm it and you give it credit. You say, this is worth looking at. So how do you critique it? How do you point to the stereotypes and the violence without just reproducing them? With MIXOSCOPE, you can create your own mix of historic digitized photos. You can add colors and draw and put different photos together and write comments. Most importantly, with MIXOSCOPE, the perspective that the photographer has chosen can be challenged. It encourages reflection through creative play on what and who the images represent. On a more general level, digitization builds literacies, specifically in our case, a visual literacy, the ability to comprehend, make meaning of, and communicate through visual means. In addition, digitization contributes to historical literacy, the ability to negotiate and work effectively with historical text and to construct new interpretations of the past. And you cannot work with a digital tool and digital materials without developing a digital literacy, the knowledge, the usage and comprehension involving the effective use of digital technologies. Another issue is also to know how to put the digitized collections into meaningful use. In other words, the institutional boundaries are being pushed when facilitating the use of digitized collections with the actual material at hand. The photos used in MIXOSCOPE are stereoscopes, and when looked at in the reading room in a special view, the image appears three-dimensional. In moving out of the reading room, we had to explore how to recreate this playful three-dimensional feeling, how we could translate that into a digital language, and we found a way to recreate it in MIXOSCOPE. Our legal boundaries was also pushed. When users remix with pictures from outside the institution, they possibly break copyright law. So we addressed, do we as an institution want to take that risk, or how do we minimize that risk? And ethically, what do we as an institution allow when it comes to our collection? This is serious material. We don't want it just to be a play. And this might look innocent, but how would we deal with, say, pornographic material or racist material? And when digitizing the material, we attracted new user groups to our library, which is mainly a university library. Children with their families and students visiting the library's exhibitions with their schools, and we found ways of accommodating these particular user groups. In conclusion, we pushed and developed the organizational facilitation of interaction between archives and users in relation to new forms of engagement. And we made access to new materials and prompted user involvement and the development of new literacies, thereby giving a democratic voice to users in how our past can be interpreted today. Thank you.